already started. So wait, you're recording right now?
Go ahead, bro. I swear we're always the most awkward at the beginning.
I got the intro.
We're the most awkward at the beginning, but we warm up.
All right, I got the intro.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Crossing the Bridge podcast, and we are in a new location this episode because the room we're in is way too small. So,
It's true.
Yep.
There's a lot more to set up than we thought initially.
I'm Jackson. This is McKinley.
But
And right now we're gonna go over what we talked about yesterday in our bridge group
Oh, yeah.
on Ephesians.
yeah, I thought it was good. How did you like last night?
I thought it was pretty good.
It was very long. We'll say
was
that.
pretty long,
We
but-
did dive in deep to Ephesians, and I'd say that next time we dive in deep to the word, let's not do it with your mother in the room because
Sure.
she goes to bed at 9. We ended about 10:30.
True. Yeah, she
It was
was
not
not having
good.
it last night.
So yeah, we played a video that I thought was really good. It was like just an overall summary of Ephesians. And I read a little bit from this, just talking about what Ephesians was about, and it was talking about. Well, actually, you wrote something too. It was just talking about Paul and Ephesus and like the letter he wrote and how this was a letter and how.
And where he wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about that, and then we got into it some. Well, I would say I like the questions that. Oh gosh, I always hit something every time we do this. I like the questions that were asked last night. I think it was like super deep and something we should continue to pray on. But do you have anything that stuck out to you last night, like people talking about?
No, I just had in my notes. I started taking notes in Ephesians 2. And Ephesians 2 started with, like, it talks about the reality of an unbeliever. Like, it uses words like trespass, disobedience, and wrath. It's like saying there's consequences in your life if you're not a believer.
Yeah.
But then it goes on to say, like, there's a God, and if you repent your sins, you could be accepted into heaven.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it talks about, like, the armor of God and how you fight against the forces of evil with said armor.
Yeah. We talked a lot about, the thing that stuck out to me most last night was the question that was asked, is talking about faith and works. And we honestly, the game might have got made of, we played a game, Hot Takes, like we talked about last episode, go watch that. I talked to whatever screen, I don't know. But the faith versus works, we were in like a debative mood, I'd say. We were debating a lot about it, but like in a good way. Like it's good to have conversations about things like that. And we were talking about like which one matters more, or if they both matter equally the same. I thought that was cool because it does talk a lot about faith and works in this book. So that's good. Because we're talking about, especially in chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, it was, for it is by grace you've been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Because it really did talk about both, and I know we had talked about that a lot last night. So thought it was good.
Yeah.
What did you think about the game last night?
Ooh, it got a little heated in some parts.
What was the most heated one? I was trying to.
Probably like
Death
the
penalty.
death penalty one. There was a lot of different opinions from the death penalty.
Eli, which one was your favorite one to debate?
Probably the death penalty.
Death penalty.
Yeah, guys, we got Eli on mic now, so
What's up? I'm actually on the mic now.
that'll be fun.
Our
Thomas is
producer
out
is
of
on the mic.
town.
Thomas could not be here today
where's
because
he at? Universal. That must be nice.
Second episode and he's already gone. We're dropping like flies here.
All he did was eat Publix in the background of the last episode,
dude.
to be fair. But yeah. We might play a little bit of that game later in the podcast. We'll see how it goes. But I thought last night was fun, dude. I'm so excited for the next one. We made it all the way to chapter 4, or through chapter 4, and we'll finish 5 and 6 on the 30th, which is going to be our Thanksgiving meeting, our Friendsgiving, and we're gonna finish 5 and 6 then because we went a lot deeper than we thought, and it took a lot longer than we thought. I think that makes sense. Oh, he had to take a break to drink his Monster.
Not sponsored, but please sponsor us.
It's no, but it is good. I mean, the white one might be my favorite now.
Green one is the best.
No, I don't think it is. I think the white one's still better.
Whatever. You just
Jackson,
had it.
Your mic's a little bit broken. Or no, your camera's a little bit broken.
My camera?
No, Jackson.
Oh well.
Any latest news, updates, anything in life? How's your life going, Jackson? What you up to nowadays?
I'm pretty good. Been at home a lot because the Navy does not want me to join right now. for
Oh
some
yeah,
reason.
tell them the story about the ADHD.
Well,
And that was in quotations for you Spotify or Spotify listeners.
well, the Navy thinks I have ADHD because I had a learning disability in high school, and it was for an IEP, and they automatically assumed that it was for ADHD. So now I have to wait longer before I can go and leave boot camp.
Fine with me. The podcast as long as possible.
Podcasting.
And you're gonna go to Passion because
Hopefully.
you will be there.
Honestly, by the time I get this all like figured out, and I sign a paper that leave in 30 to 60 days, I probably will go to
So you
Passion.
went last year.
Yeah.
And what was it like last year?
It was cold.
You said it was cold.
It was cold.
Cold?
The weather outside was cold.
Yes, it was very cold my year too. I went the year
And
before.
I wore
you.
shorts one day.
Did you go the year before too? No.
No, I just went last year because I was a senior last year. But Passion was really good because it was way better than like the summer camp one that had like middle schoolers in it too, and like high school seniors. Because it was more like adult oriented at the conference.
Yeah.
Because all it is like adults there.
Yeah, no. I was trying to, cause where was the one you went to at last year?
Atlanta.
At the what?
The camp was in Daytona
No,
Beach.
not the camp. The actual Passion you went to.
It was in Atlanta.
Atlanta. It was at the Benz Stadium.
No, it was at the Falcon Stadium.
Oh, okay. So the one I went to the year before. This year we'll be at the Benz, and the year before your year is when I went, and that was at the Benz as well.
The year I went was at the basketball stadium.
Was it big?
Yeah, it was still big.
Not as big as
Not as big as the Mercedes-Benz, obviously, but
the Benz. 60,000 people.
that's a
dude.
lot of seats.
So they sang, you know the song "The Blessing" by Carrie Job.
Okay.
That song with that many people. When I say that was insane, like when it felt like straight up heaven, like it was insane.
No, last year when I went, when Passion was doing their music thing, they played I Witnessed It by
Oh.
them. That was that one hit me.
Was
That
Maverick City there?
I don't know. All I remember is I Witnessed It by Passion. That was amazing.
You take any big things from your Passion? Like, what was the biggest thing you took from the year you went?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I mean, I heard like the guy Eli mentioned last night, the statistics on like how
Louis
much the Bible has
Giglio?
changed, how little
Was
it
that who it
changed
was?
since like
Eli?
2,000 years ago.
It wasn't Louis Giglio?
I don't think it was. There's a guy with glasses. I know that, but he talked about how much the Bible has changed so little in 2,000 years, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It proves wrong every single scientist that ever said that it's changed so much. Even if it's translated into a different language, it hasn't really changed at all. Like it translated from
Yeah.
Old English to English
So-
to Spanish to German, whatever. It's
The-
still the same.
Yeah, the year I went, they did the live translation. So they were asking money for the program that they translate the Bible into almost, because a lot of countries in a lot of languages still don't have a Bible translated into their language.
Mhm.
And so like one of the big things the year I went was translating it to all these languages, or into these languages that didn't have the Bible before, and we watched they
Yeah.
showed a live translation of it, and I thought that was so cool.
They did that when we were there too. They did it was like a fundraiser type thing, where they did it was a video and they said since 3 years ago 40 new languages have been translated.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. It's by Ben Stewart. You can
Ben
go
Stewart.
to Passion's YouTube channel and watch his
Stewart.
entire
Ben Stewart.
39 to 40 minute essay.
And it was
Alright.
called, what was it called?
It is called "Has the Bible Been Corrupted" by Ben Stewart, and they actually just uploaded The 2022 one, the Passion Camp we went to.
Oh,
So that's the video that pops
I'm
up
honestly-
whenever you look it up.
that's the one you sent me the link to, right?
No, I sent Ben, a person
Yeah.
who was at our camp, or who was at our meeting last night. The one from, I think, 2019.
I honestly am praying that I do get to go to Passion this year, because now that I'm like so like gung ho about Jesus now,
Yeah.
I really
You're gonna
like,
feel it more?
I will be devastated if I can't go this year.
I know. I'm hoping that, dude, I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm like hoping.
I've never been so giddy about something before.
My parents are like, "Did you text your recruiter? Did you text your recruiter today?" I said, "No. I'm trying to prolong this as much as I can, so I can go to Passion." But they don't
Exactly.
understand that, so
No, I just
because they're not going to Passion.
so excited. I can't even like fathom how excited
Like
I am.
last year when I went, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I loved it.
It's so fun. And so like Sadie Robertson, I really like her, especially like as a
She spoke last year too.
a college age girl. Like I watch her a lot. Like so I listen to Unashamed podcast, all the Robertson family really. Unashamed podcast, the Duck Call Room, and Live Original. Like I listen to all of those, and Sadie, like, she really has hits that our age audience, and she talks, and it's just so, dude, it's so amazing.
I think listening to Tim Tebow talk at Passion last year was pretty cool too.
I do remember he spoke. I don't remember exactly what he spoke about.
I mean, he talked about like his John 3:16 thing.
Oh,
that was
did he?
that was his main point. of his
Really?
speech.
Yeah, I think he didn't talk as much about that, but he did talk the one I went to. There's a few other people who talked, but I think Louis Giglio's wife talked. She was good.
Louis Giglio.
Shelley?
My opinion on him, he's good at what he does, but he's just a little bit. He goes off point a lot.
Oh yeah, there's people like that though who just like are off the.
Yeah,
off
but
the,
like
in a
the way, if I'm gonna hear someone talk about like the Bible, I want like to be on point the whole way through. He just like goes off in a different direction. Like he's a good guy, I like him, but like just goes off in a different direction.
You know who I like preaching?
Who?
This man right here.
Dan Ott.
Well, yes, Dan Ott. Love Dan Ott. Joby Martin. 1122's pastor. Dude.
About 11:22, I went to the when I went to the retreat that they did by myself, and I knew nobody. That was a life changer. That's why I'm so gung ho about Jesus now, because I went to that retreat and it just opened my eyes to whatever else.
You should read that book. You can borrow it. if you
Oh,
want.
I don't read.
Oh, well, you can do the audio book of it,
Okay.
but I doubt you'll even.
I kind of want to talk about that retreat I went on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Church of 1122 in Jacksonville is a big church. They're
Huge.
spread out. They're spread out everywhere in
Yeah.
Jacksonville. They have like 12 locations.
I thought it was like 4.
And there's 2 in
But
There's
there's-
2 in Georgia.
Oh yeah, but the one that we go to on Thursday
The
nights,
San Pablo.
the San Pablo one, is literally they took an entire Walmart or thing and turned it into a huge stadium
Wow.
thing. Like it's insane.
But the retreat I went on with the church was 18 and 25-year-olds. That's the group. That's what they're called, 1825.
Yeah.
And I went there knowing nobody. I still had my fresh mullet. I'm still mad I don't have it anymore. But when I went, I was like 2 hours early, so I had to like drive up and down the road. It was in the middle of nowhere. I had to drive up and down on the road because I was like bored. There was no one there. I couldn't get in the gate, so I was just driving up and down on the road
2 hours.
for 2 hours. And when I finally got in, I didn't know anybody, so I'm like sitting at the picnic table, and then we went around in a circle and we introduced ourselves. And I said, "My name is Jackson. I don't go to 1122. So I just heard of it, and I just came here." And the leader, Tanya, was like, "Oh, it's so cool. Thanks for
Aw.
coming." And then what made me like amazed by it is that everybody, like all the guys, just welcomed me into
Yeah.
their group. Like I was there for like years.
That's so cool.
It was amazing. And it was right on the river. I caught a fish. Amazing.
You went fishing. That's fun.
Yep.
But I know that.
I also did donuts and the golf cart on the golf course.
Oh, well, there you go.
We killed the batteries on every single golf cart. And they had to use them in like an hour.
I know that you go to the. Do you still go to the Thursday night things
I haven't had time to go Thursday nights.
or yeah? I try to go most of the time, but I do get busy.
It's like an hour drive too. So, I mean, I love them, but it's an hour drive.
It is an hour drive. And so I ended up doing like a small group for 1825, but it was an hour away. And I did like it because the reason I'm speaking for the both of us here, but the reason we went to 1122, like when we go to our church, is because a lot of like we've grown up with parents who work in the church, and I know Eli has too. Like it's a lot, honestly. Like when you grow up in the church in the behind the scenes, like it can feel so much like it's some type of job. And I think it's especially like, and I think a lot of the people in our group have parents like that. Like with the amount of our church is involved in like the youth group, and like we grew up in it, but then we go straight back into pouring into it. And then we had this family the whole time. And like, I know your mom does worship. Like my dad was worship. My mom was worship. It's just a lot. And like, then you're taught to do the same, and you're taught to fill other people with things, and like you're taught to give, which is amazing. And I think it's such a gift, and I'm grateful every day that I have the gifts given to me by God to, do that for people and, lead people to Christ through like whatever I'm doing, like singing and worship and whatever. But you also need to be filled. And I think that I started going to 1122 on Thursday nights because like it wasn't a Sunday, it wasn't a Wednesday night. Like I had a night to myself just to really be filled up. And I think that was so fun for me. Like I brought Danette with me too.
Yeah,
And, like,
I would have never been so gung ho about Jesus if I did not go to that retreat.
Exactly.
Like I wasn't gonna go. I was terrified to go
Yeah.
because I didn't know anybody.
But like you have to do things like that to get filled.
Yeah. And then I felt it. I'm like, I should go to this, even though I don't want to. I probably should.
Yeah.
And I went. Life changing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get people like that's what I talk to people like when I talk to them about passion. I'm like, dude, because like I wanted to do political science. I've talked about this. I wanted to do political science for pretty much all my life or be a cop. Like I was on the law route almost all my life, and my senior year I went to passion, and then I was like, dude, I want to do worship full time. Like I want to do what my dad does. Like I love doing this, and like if I can make this like something I can put all my effort into. And like once that changed, I mean, my whole life really changed. Because once you make that your whole life, it's fun. But because when we went to the Passion my year, the thing I remember most was I keep saying my year, but I'm just trying to separate the years.
Before.
I'm trying to separate the years. Your year and my year.
23 and 22.
22 and 23. But the year I went, like the thing I remember most is they were like writing out on a card. Like we each got this big like sheet card. You have to write out what you think God is calling you to. And I wrote out worship. So I was like, yeah, that's a big thing for me. But yeah, 1122 is great, dude. Especially if you're at another church and Thursday nights, not the Thursday nights that are the bridge, come to that. But on the Thursday nights that we're not doing the bridge, because it's every other week, that one, the nights we're not doing the bridge, you should go to 1122. Like it's good to get filled.
It's a good group.
Especially especially if you work in the church or have helped in the church and volunteered in the church, like it's just great to be filled.
Or if you want to go out of your comfort zone and meet new people.
That's true.
They're totally open to that.
They do have a lot of young people.
They do. Like our age people.
Yeah, which is nice. I think it's good. But yeah. Oh, I'm so excited about this. You're going, right, Eli?
Yes, I'm going to Passion.
And you went to the camp before.
Yeah, I went to both the camp and the conference.
Okay, well, the camp was fun, but it was just too many younger people.
I didn't go to the camp.
The camp was the week, right? And then the conference was 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The camp was the one you guys went to when I was in college, right?
Probably.
Okay.
In Ormond Beach.
It was like you guys were, where you guys like dressed up in certain colors and.
Yeah, I was heat wave.
Yeah, okay.
Our church,
I remember the
was heat
Hasselmans.
wave.
The Hasselmans sent me pictures in their colors, and Eric painted his nails orange or
that was
something.
like my John B phase when I looked like John B.
You did look like John B. Oh my gosh, that's so accurate.
I have a picture of it.
Oh my gosh, you do look. Oh, that is so accurate.
And that's when I got like the best picture of a sunrise I've ever got in my life because our hotel was like right on the water and it was clear morning and I just saw the sun just peek over. It was amazing.
What were you about to say, Ela?
What's so funny?
I was gonna say.
He doesn't think you look like John B.
I was gonna say there is a lot of funny stories about the camp.
Yeah, we were
that
like,
please.
we could make like an entire episode.
How we ran across the highway, almost got like
Oh yeah, we could
ran over
make.
by cars going to
Oh, I heard you
Publix.
guys went to Publix a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were like old enough to where we, like leaders didn't care. We went off on our own. Like at least we told them where we were going. We went and got pub subs like almost every night.
Oh, I bet Eric loved that.
We
We did.
could. There
It was
was
his idea.
so much stuff we could talk about. Like it could.
I
make
broke
an
the
entire
toilet while we were
episode
there.
on
So you had fun?
certain-
You liked it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
camp and the conference were probably my favorite things. I still miss the Fuge camps.
I miss
I
Fuge
had
so much.
never been to Fuge.
The hat I'm wearing.
Honestly,
right
it's better
now-
than Passion.
Your sister and Carolyn went all the time, and
I
I
went-
never went.
I went 2 years, 3 years.
The beanie.
I went for 3 years.
Eli had to take his beanie off because it's
The
hot.
beanie I'm
I went
wearing.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I went, and it was so much fun because it was a week. It was like Passion, but a week.
There you go.
It was like just like Passion, but for a week.
The,
And we stayed at college.
the beanie I'm wearing right now is from my very first.
Ridgecrest.
Yes,
Oh.
that's from my very first Fuge camp,
Ridgecrest was a fun Fuge camp
and that
because it was like in the middle of the woods in Asheville.
Is it just like a camp, like with the games and stuff?
You
Yeah,
go
it's like-
to a college,
It's a on a college campus, Christian college campus.
and
And they-
basically throughout the week, you there's multiple different things you can do.
Mhm.
I think one of them is you go and you help a place that's in need.
I did landscaping.
Oh,
For 3
okay. Yeah,
years.
Carolyn did say that.
Yes. I helped repaint and like build a Sunday school daycare.
For
Dude, I
one-
love stuff like that.
One
though.
year I did like the like all we did was like went to like a daycare and just played with kids all day.
Oh, I love that.
And I think the Ridgecrest one was my favorite because it was like in the middle of the woods. We just went hiking whenever we had free time.
That
Like
does
we'd have
sound
like
fun.
3 hours of free time a day,
3 hours.
and then like
Have you ever-
we would do like we'd come back from like whatever outreach we did, and then they would give us 3 hours, then dinner, then message, then go to bed.
Mm.
And then like the 3 hours was ours. We just do whatever.
Have you ever been on a mission trip?
Nope.
No. What about you?
No, I've never been on one.
Really? I've been on one. I went to New Orleans, and it was the funnest time. I think Maddie didn't go.
I did not go.
No.
She went to Nicaragua.
Nicaragua, but
With my
Carolyn went with me. I was younger, but still it was so fun. So we went to New Orleans, and it was the lower Ninth Ward, like where Katrina hit the worst, and we like rebuilt this church because I walk in, it's like say the building's 5 feet taller than this. The water line on the walls was up to like right where that crack is.
I
like,
believe it.
crust. And it was insane. Like we had to rebuild it, but it was so fun. We did VBS there. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
I was thinking about going to Israel this year, but I don't think that's gonna happen. This year.
I wanted. Let me say this. I wanted to do Shane and Shane. We have a thing called Worship Initiative for worship leaders, and it's like something you pay for yearly, and it's like worship leaders can access it for like songs and all these videos and stuff. But they're putting on a trip to Israel, and it's like a worship trip to Israel. So you go sing in all these places.
I want to go to Jerusalem.
I-
That would be
it's like
cool.
over there, yeah. And but yeah, it's $5,000. So
But have you seen the churches in Puerto Rico? If you look up churches in Puerto Rico, they look like shacks on the outside, but when you go in, they're so beautiful.
really, I think you know what I like about the island campus is those mosaic. What are they called? Mosaic
The
windows.
stained glass room,
Yeah, like the windows that are super fancy.
like the other message room. There's 2 big rooms. One that has like actual pews, and then that has chairs.
Oh yeah, the pews one.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Puerto Rico churches. The ones you're looking at now are probably like in San Juan on the east side, but I was on the
East
west side, and there was like
In
It was-
Puerto Rico?
yeah.
Puerto Rico.
We drove past a bunch of churches, and they're pretty churches. But they're like, I think they're like big Catholic.
Dude, I want to go on as many mission trips as possible, but it is so hard nowadays. I'll say that.
I mean, I got my life threatened in Puerto Rico.
Did you really?
Okay, we went on a surfing trip. Me, my friend, his dad, and a couple of his dad's friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we had an Airbnb in there, in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, and we were told not to go, like, east of Aguadilla because there's gangs in Puerto Rico, and we went surfing, and it was just local that like was just so how surfing works, how priority works in surfing.
Yeah.
The person, if there's a lot of people out there, the person who's on the peak, which is where it's breaking mainly,
Eli. Sorry, go
the
ahead.
person on the peak is where it's breaking mainly.
Yeah.
Where it breaks from.
I have surfed before.
Whoever's closest to the peak gets the priority of the wave.
Yeah.
And my friend had priority. He drops in on a wave, and this local drops in on him, which was not like, no. It's a no go in surfing. And the local gets mad at him for dropping in on his wave, even though my friend had priority. And he starts cussing him out, and some of it translated to like kill something. And we waited for him to go on the beach so we would go in because we were like terrified. It was like right outside a restaurant too. Like it was a restaurant, beach, waves, and the restaurant everybody spoke English. It was like an Americanized restaurant,
No,
and they had the best fried shrimp I've ever had in my life.
dude. Seafood's probably my favorite.
I love seafood, especially fried shrimp from Aunt Kate's.
You know what I haven't really eaten? Like a proper seafood broil.
I've never had that either. They have. I used to work at Kingfish on Volano. They have boils there.
Do they?
Yeah.
I
They're
didn't.
expensive.
I don't.
They're like $30,
They are expensive.
but it's good though.
I think the closest thing to it was like Joe's Crab Shack.
Joe's Crab Shack.
100%
I mean,
authentic seafood.
Kingfish is authentic because
Do you know?
they get the good stuff.
Do you know what is terrible in St. Augustine? Red Lobster. I want to know how they're still open.
Red Lobster is fake seafood, ladies and gentlemen. They
And
have
the biscuits are from a box.
but they're
great.
so good.
They're great, but they're
But
from a box, and you can
The
make them at
lobsters in
home.
the tank at the front of every Red Lobster is just for show. I guarantee you they don't use the lobsters. I don't think they use lobsters in the tank.
Live lobsters.
I don't think they
They
use
just
those.
have pets.
Maybe they're just for show.
I-
Maybe they
I
get their
don't know-
tails
I didn't
shipped
think
in.
they claimed to use them.
I mean, they have bands, so maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that's just so they don't kill each other.
But Red Lobster seafood is garbage. If you're
Every
gonna
time
go
I
get
think of
seafood,
lobsters,
especially in St. Augustine has good real seafood. Why would you go to Red Lobster?
It's true.
Like, go to any beach. There's gonna be at least 5 seafood restaurants.
Every time I think of lobsters, I think of Jordan Peters.
Huh?
You haven't read his book,
Every
but
time I go to Red Lobster, I think of when I lived in
you haven't read
Jacksonville.
any books.
I don't read.
I cannot believe you haven't read the book in the past 5 years.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh my god, you're 19 years old.
I
Jackson.
can still read it.
Oh my.
It's
God.
picture book.
In the past 5 years, you've read it.
No. It's been since middle school.
That's not the past 5 years.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid is peak, so I don't want to hear.
It is peak,
Oh, I
wanna
100%
hear
agree.
peak picture
Elijah,
books.
I'm saying I agree. It's great. I've read all of them, but also
The movies suck.
you're 19. Like you need to read at least one book a year.
I will say I read the majority of Experiencing God, the book that was given to me at the 1825 retreat.
What's a majority?
Like more than half,
Why not just finish it then?
because I got bored. The only reason I read it at the retreat because we got free time.
Maybe you do have ADHD.
What? Nuh-uh.
You can't finish a book.
They went. I didn't want like at the retreat. They played soccer golf. I did not want to play that because I did something to my knee. I think, like running on the golf course. Soccer golf. It's where they could like instead of the clubs, they use your feet. They could get in the holes. But anyway, they went off and did that, and I sat on my porch of my cabin and read the majority of that book. And it's a good book.
What's it called?
Experiencing God. It's about like different people on how they experience their God.
I know what you're talking about. I saw that at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, their God, like
And it's like pictures on it.
no pictures.
Oh, I've seen a version of it where it's like the picture
It's
of
like
the people and then they
Every
like,
chapter is
is
like
a different person.
a different person of how
Yeah.
they experienced God. It's a good book.
There's one of those at Barnes and Noble, but it's like the first page of the chapter is the picture of them and then explains who they are and then it's like their story. But
Like,
I'll read
there's,
I
like-
might read that.
There was one. It was like one of the first couple chapters where this guy just lost everything, and then he experienced God, and he started like getting back on his feet. And now he's like almost like a multimillionaire.
Jeez. Dude. When would you say is the first time you ever like actually experienced God? I know mine if you want me to go first.
Yeah, I gotta think.
I'd say I went to a camp in middle school or high school, maybe middle school, either 8th or ninth grade. And it's called Camp Kings. But dude, the worship I felt that like we did worship and it was like the first type of like revival worship where it was like we didn't have a plan. And I don't know if you guys know on like in Baptist church, you always have a plan and it sticks to the plan and you don't really go off script. And I know that's something. That's a whole other episode, but so yeah, it was like full like just playing worship and I've never felt like I think it's so spirit led to just all these kids playing worship and then like they don't know what's going on but it still sounds great. Yeah. That was the first time I ever experienced like God truly.
Now that I think about it, I think the first time I actually experienced God was the first year I went to Fuge.
Really?
Yeah, because it was all a bunch of people gathered to like experience God.
Yeah. Dude, those camps will get you. Like
Those are good
like
camps.
those are those things like those are why those are so important. Like they get you in that like
And
being around people, that many people who want to experience God is just something different.
something George Harrigan said. He said those camps are good, but once
Exactly.
certain people leave those camps, they forget everything about it and just go back to where they were.
Exactly, but that's why
You have to choose to accept
Agree.
God. I actually accept.
when
him.
we did that panel for youth group, that's what when I was talking about kind of I was like trying to explain that I had like a camp high almost and then it like came
it
down
fades away after you leave.
after certain things happen, but like it's almost trying to find that high again without a camp to do it is good. So like I feel that high right now leading up to a camp. So I think I don't know. You have to get better at having that posture all the time, you know?
You gotta want it, definitely. You gotta want to accept him. You gotta want to keep immersing yourself in the word.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you don't do it, you're not going to.
You gonna do our top 5 of the episode today?
Sure, let's do it.
I think we're only gonna do one of these today, but if we have one, we can put in. I think we're gonna get Eli's opinion on his top 5
Yes.
as well. Are
So
we?
this week's top 5 is top 5 candies.
Oh gosh.
But okay, so I'll start at my number 5. My number 5 is Twizzlers.
That is absolutely disgusting.
Because my parents both like Twizzlers, and it's actually like a good like snack, like candy. It's good. It's like nice and chewy.
Would you ever eat the black Twizzlers?
Nah, just the red ones.
What about you, Eli? What do you think about that answer?
So, quick question: is it going from best to worst or worst to best?
It's
Best-
from
it's worst to
best because
Worst
we
to
do
best,
it
okay.
his way apparently. Because my ways, no one knows about sports and draft picks.
Me personally, the worst is probably the off-brand Tootsie Pops, the little
It's still your top
the
5,
flavored ones.
This is your top 5.
but you're just saying the worst one.
I don't eat. Ironically, I don't eat that much candy.
I don't either. It took me a minute
I eat
to.
plenty of candy.
I give all my candy to like my friends and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
I eat plenty of candy. All right, what's your top 5? What's
You're
your
the
5?
skinniest one here. That makes me.
What's your number?
My number 5 is Sour Patch Kids.
That's your 5?
That's my 5.
That's crazy.
I'd say Sour Patch Kids slap, but sometimes the sour, like you, just thinking about it, too much.
So good.
Okay, then I changed it. My number 5 is Swedish Fish.
Oh, dude.
No, that is hard.
That's
that's
like a
definitely
top
higher
tier
up on my
candy.
list.
That's a like.
I only say Swedish Fish because there is one that is better in my opinion.
We'll get to it.
How's that your top 5? Never mind. We'll get to it.
All right,
Your number.
Number
So,
4.
What's your number 4? Yeah.
chocolate covered pretzels. Specifically, white chocolate pretzels.
Is that a candy?
Yeah, counts chocolate. White chocolate
I
pretzels.
guess.
Those are
What's your number 5, Eli?
number 4.
Or number 4? Sorry.
My number 4, probably Dots.
Dots.
Is he so
Dots.
for real right now?
Are you serious?
I told you I don't eat that much candy.
All right, we're taking away your mic privileges.
Dots. We don't need an explanation for that. We'll just continue.
Well, don't be surprised if I'm suddenly
What?
missing next episode.
Are
like
dots the
Thomas.
colorful ones?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones that come in a
yes.
box. It tastes like power steering fluid.
That
Hey,
no, that doesn't sound very
I
easy.
think it's all right.
All right.
Well,
Let's
What's
go
your
for
number 4?
dots.
M&Ms.
What kind of M&Ms?
I think the regular M&Ms or the minis.
It's
I
the
like
same thing.
the peanut butter ones are good and the peanut ones are good. The caramel ones are terrible. I would eat the chocolate
Okay.
just around the caramel and throw out the caramel.
Okay.
But
Well.
M&Ms.
Number 3 for me is peanut M&Ms. Those, like every year at Christmas, my parents buy like a big bag. They put it in a
Peanut,
bowl.
like the yellow ones.
Yeah, the peanut M&Ms. And
Not
I
peanut
just-
butter.
No.
Hmm.
Those are good too, but peanut I'd rather have. They're so good.
That's
Love
valid.
'em. Eli? What's your number 3?
Number 3 is Smarties.
Bro,
What? That's
I rest my case.
that's my case. Love that,
Those are nasty, dude.
dude.
All right, whatever. What's your-
Mine's nerd gummy clusters. Specifically,
Those are good. The
the
berry
blue.
ones.
I was gonna put that one.
Those are good.
But I had to go classics for one.
Those are good.
But yeah, those are like definitely
I agree with that.
probably the best candy in the world right now for me.
All right, my number 2 is Swedish Fish.
Valid.
On a road trip, my go-to candy is Swedish Fish.
What was your number 3?
Peanut M&Ms.
Oh, sorry. So your number 2 Swedish Fish. My number 2 is going to plain Hershey's bars,
That's
but not the little ones, the big ones, like the ones you use for s'mores. Are you kidding?
just
And also,
not the best chocolate.
I agree that dark chocolate's better, but
No, that's not what I'm saying. Dark chocolate tastes like rocks.
no, it does not. Dark chocolate is the
Bitter.
best.
No, it's not. It's
What?
so bitter.
No, it's not bitter,
Anyway,
but it is the best chocolate candy. What's better than that?
white chocolate.
Oh my, white chocolate makes me want to throw up.
Ever, dude.
I'm so serious.
Eli, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the apple that the neighbor sometimes gives you instead of candy on Halloween.
All right, you're done.
You're done.
You're-
You're done.
That's all.
That was your number 2.
All
I
right.
rest my case.
Before we go to number
He's
1,
gonna say goldfish is number 1.
Before we-
Stupid crap like that.
before we go to our number 1s, let's do our honorable mentions. Okay, mine would be Tootsie Pop / Blow Pops.
Ew. Can't do
Because,
lollipops.
I mean, they're good on occasion. Like, it's like a party. Not a party. A get together and there's Blow Pops. Sure.
I'm gonna say Pixie Sticks is an honorable mention,
Pixie 6 is
but you can't do it with a lot of them because that's
Yeah.
so much
it's
sugar.
a lot of sugar. It's straight up
but
sugar.
they did taste good as a kid. I would say.
My other one is Reese's
Why are you
Cups.
laughing, Eli? He shook his head. He
No
said no.
reason.
Reese's Cups is my other honorable
Oh yeah,
mention.
that might be my second.
They're good, but they're messy.
Messy, and also there's so many variations of Reese's cups now. I feel like they just don't-
potato chip ones.
but they
Ugh.
just don't hit as much anymore. If that makes sense.
Ugh.
But what's your number 1?
Wait,
Wait, what's your honorable mentions, Eli?
Yeah.
My honorable mention is Hershey's, just all of it. Hershey Kisses.
Oh, I
they're
forgot
not in my
The
top
peppermint
5.
Hershey Kisses
Yeah, the Hershey
are good.
Hershey's.
Like the candy cane ones are good.
Yeah,
Like Christmas ones. What's your honorable mentions?
I already said mine.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, Pixie
Good.
Sticks and
Yeah.
Reese's cups. I'd
Well-
say my number 1, Swedish Fish.
Okay.
That's my top.
Mine was my number 2. So
Yeah.
my number 1 is watermelon Sour Patch Kids. Those are my all-time favorite candy. They're just
That could be debated.
amazing.
They're better than actual Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah.
Really?
The yellow Sour Patch Kids are not good.
Do you know they sell like just like bags of one color of Sour Patch Kids
Mhm.
at the dollar store?
Yep.
I'd rather have that blue pack than just regular Sour Patch Kids.
If we went on a road trip and you did not give me gas money, I would take watermelon Sour Patch Kids as a payment. They're so
Good to
good.
know. All right, start paying you in Sour Patch Kids.
Yep.
You guys want to do a hot take?
Yep.
So, if we explained it a little bit before, but we did play a game last night at our group, and it was good. I'd say it was it was pretty fun. It started some fun. Stop. It started some fun conversations and some not so fun conversations, but in a funny way, which is always fun. So, Jackson, do you want to read the first one that we can talk about?
Yep. Hang on. Here's my water book.
Where's the rest of mine?
Okay.
Did you,
Fell on the floor.
Mac? Did you say what your number 1 was?
Yeah, mine was Swedish Fish. What was yours?
You don't want to hear mine.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so
I thought you said yours.
you know the floss that your neighbor sometimes gives you on Halloween instead of candy?
You're dead.
Okay, that's it.
I rest my
Hot
case.
takes.
Good job, guys.
Hot takes. Okay. First hot take. Movies are better than the book.
Disagree.
I agree with that
Why do you agree with that?
because I hate reading. And
Excuse you? You like what? How? Okay.
the last time I read
How
a
many
book,
books have you read this year?
0.
How many books have you read in the past 5 years?
0. I hate reading.
Eli,
It's
how many books
so
have you read
boring.
in the past year?
It's so boring.
I think maybe 3.
3. Do you know what they are? The Bible doesn't count.
Yeah, one was the Bible.
Yeah.
The whole thing?
I don't know why you're laughing.
The
You
whole
read
thing?
the whole
Bible?
book, not the whole thing, just like a little bit of it.
He's gonna say the books I read were Ephesians, Philippians,
Ephesians.
Colossians.
And then the second book, I'm pretty sure, was the 2020 top 10 game of the year book thing.
What about the Minecraft books you get from the book fair?
No,
I read one of those
don't-
ones.
I read all
couldn't
those.
find those. And then my third book was the Star Wars: The Clone Wars Adventures online game guide from 2005.
Okay.
And those are not jokes.
All right.
My book count for this year alone is at 54. That's my book count this year. So I have reasonable means to say that the books are better than the movies.
Can I just say that well, the majority of people would like to go to the movie theaters and watch a movie before they read a book, or just don't read the book.
Okay,
at all.
that's not the question.
It's
Would I
way
rather
more
go to a movie than read a book? Maybe.
It's way
depending
more
on what it is.
entertaining than reading a book is watching a movie on.
Not
Yes,
necessarily.
Harry Potter is way more entertaining.
I totally disagree. Jenny, okay, for example, the reasons I say the book is better than the movie is because there's certain aspects of it that are better. Like characters, like character development. Like Jenny in Harry Potter, like in the movie, she's terrible. She's the most annoying character. Well, not annoying, but like she's so not fun. But in the book, she's actually like some cool person, like who has personality and not just a crush on Harry Potter.
The movies are way better.
Oh my god.
Just saying.
Whatever.
Next hot take.
We're moving on to next. Women are kinder than men. See what y'all say. What do you have to say about that, Elijah?
It depends. Depends on who the person is.
What was you said? Women are kinder than men?
Women are kinder than men. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Yeah, think nowadays.
I disagree.
TikTok
Yeah,
and
nowadays I disagree.
I
Just
don't
think
know.
about it. There's a reason why we have the boys
I
or the
think-
guys and not the girls.
I think women should be kinder than men because of personality traits. However, I think in this generation they're not. All right, you pull the next one.
Rap music is better than indie music.
Disagree.
I agree with that.
Disagree.
Partially because I don't know what indie music is.
What's
But
an example of like indie song, like an indie song he would know? Popular indie songs.
I don't have my phone.
It's not. It's like I don't know how to. I'm trying to think of a song you would know. I can't describe music. I'm a musician. I
But
should
rap is so catchy and like the beats are so sick.
but it's not better than indie.
Yeah, it is.
I disagree. Entirely, I disagree.
DIY artist. Rap is way better.
So
Isn't everyone a DIY artist?
indie music's definition is music that's produced by a DIY artist or an independent label without the traditional resources of a major label. So basically,
Metro
a
Boomin.
musician who's like starting out.
Metro
like-
Boomin.
But I thought indie
Yes.
music is also a type of music, though.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
a
it's
genre.
the definition is that it's like a startup. It's a starter. It's not like a big name. It's not like
Oh,
so it's like
still think it's better.
here for example, Justin Timberlake versus like AJR.
Ooh.
Justin Timberlake. See, exactly. Justin Timberlake, you know that name, but AJR is a little bit smaller. They started up on their own.
That's valid. All right. Orange
rap
juice
music
is
is
better with pulp.
No,
Abso-freaking-lutely.
only because I don't like the way it feels when it's like floating around in my mouth. And I like to chug my orange juice.
I do
so-
too, and I think it's better with pulp.
But pulp is just
Like 100%
you can
pulp.
feel like you can,
Like not just
feel
like
it.
the ones you get from Publix that are like half pulp, like full pulp. Love it.
Ooh, you can like feel it and hate
It
it.
makes it so much better.
Like
Thoughts?
no pulp is like nice and smooth. And you chug it all in one. But pulp is like feels like you're about to choke. You're chugging it.
I don't know.
So, quick thing back, just real quick back to the indie thing. Jackson, two indie bands you'll probably know are Arctic Monkeys
Arctic Monkeys.
Exactly.
and Radiohead.
That's a.
My friend
I
listens to
love
Radiohead.
Radiohead and
I love
Arctic
both of
Monkeys.
those.
My friend
just
listens to
couldn't think of
Radiohead.
one that- yeah.
All I know is Creep.
Yes,
by Radiohead.
those are two indie bands that you would know.
Radiohead.
I
My
love
friend listens to Radiohead. He's
I
a
love both.
diehard Radiohead fan.
Arctic Monkeys slaps.
Stone Bailey, if you're watching, I got you.
Stone Bailey. His name's Stone.
Yep.
That's a cool name. That's interesting name.
Also, no pulp.
Next topic. I'm throwing this card away. The moon landing was fake, but we'll skip that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
What is yours?
I'd rather live in a tiny apartment in a great location than a huge house in a terrible location.
I agree.
I agree because I like my dream of where I always wanted to live when I like retire and stuff is like a trailer house on like a bunch of land.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
want.
agree. I wish
That's all I need.
it's so hard now with like
Inflation.
and not only inflation but with like modern day jobs. Like it's hard to have like that lifestyle because like you almost have to be near people and near a city. Like, but I want to off road stuff so bad. Like, I want to be in the middle of nowhere in the mountains and like have my own property, but also you have to provide for. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because everything is cost money nowadays. It's just hard. But I know I would love that.
What's the vacation? Do that one.
Vacation? What are you talking about?
The one where it's like, would you rather
Oh.
go on vacation to the beach or the
I'd
mountains?
rather go to vacation. I would rather go on a vacation to the mountains than the beach.
I'd rather go to the beach.
Rather go
Mainly
to the
because
mountains.
I surf, so
Yeah, it's
I'd
true.
want to go to like a nice beach where it's gonna like
I don't like
have
the
good
beach.
waves.
I like the beach, but if I was alone,
Like
the
I
beach
went,
makes me feel bad about myself.
my senior trip, I went to Puerto Rico,
Oh,
and that was like I went to the beach. Those were some of the best waves I've ever seen in my life. It's
Puerto Rico,
terrifying,
I
but
can-
it
I
was
can
so
imagine
good.
no, I would say mountains because I want to go. What's the place with Montana? There is a YWAM there, and I really want to go there for summer.
Is it what?
YWAM.
Wow, man.
It's like a ministry thing you go to, but there's like a worship one that's 2 months long. And actually, the one in Montana, the YWAM campground, is the guy, the hobbies is what they're from our church. They used to go live here, and then they branched out and they were like missionaries there for a while, and then they ended up moving there and starting the YWAM program over there, that section. And he was actually my first ever t-ball coach. But I texted him recently talking about going there for summer. I don't know. It's something I need to pray about. But
I mean, don't get me wrong. Going to the mountains is pretty cool. But I think I'd rather go to like a nice beach, like in Hawaii or something.
It depends. Like I think it depends on the time of year too.
Also, it depends on your budget, how much you want to spend.
Beach
trip
houses
to-
would be crazy though.
Yeah, so are mountain houses.
Not really. Less.
Cabins, like an Airbnb,
Yeah, that's true.
it's like $500 a week.
All right, college is the best time in your life.
I honestly, I'd say so. I'm not in college, but honestly, I was in college for like a month.
I was in college for a year, and I would say I met some of the best people, and I had some fun experiences. But it is a hard time in your life, I'd say.
It's hard because adulting is hard, and I was in an EMT class, which was a college course, for a month, and that's hard stuff.
Well, I just think like not only like the classes itself, but the whole like figuring out stuff, and I think that's why I like the group, like the bridge, it's because like we're all figuring out that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know what I want to do, but there's like things that you have to go through in order to get to the places I want to be, and there's ages you have to be. And I'm 19 years old,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of like waiting, and that's very hard to do, and it's just very taxing, I guess. So college is interesting.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to do college, my opinion is go into the military first for at
What
least
do I look like to you?
3 years.
I can't even do a push-up.
At least 3 years, and in 3 years, you can get out and they'll pay for everything,
That is true.
like college, all paid for, everything.
Well, I'm paying off my first year of college now. And I don't know if this is TMI, but I'm paying $22,000 back in student loans for 1 year of college.
Yikes! I'm paying nothing.
That must be nice. Yeah, college is. That's why my opinion on college is like that. Cause
Yeah, college is a money trap, ladies and gentlemen.
I agree. All right, you should always tip 20%.
Not if you're broke.
100%. If you're too broke to tip 20%, I don't think you need to be going out.
I mean, if it's at like
But listen,
McDonald's.
for something you're being served, not I wouldn't say McDonald's.
At a restaurant, yeah, I
At
understand
a
that.
restaurant, yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, I do that.
Yeah, I think, at a restaurant, always tip 20%.
Yeah.
Unless they're like absolutely terrible and rude. All right. Got a few more. Going through your partner's phone is wrong.
That is 100%. Unless you really, really trust them.
100% disagree.
Not letting you do that.
Going through your partner's phone is wrong? You think it is?
Kinda. In a sense.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you trust your partner, then why should you be going through their
Yeah,
phone?
if you trust them, it's not a problem.
If you don't
So I
trust
can't.
them,
So
that
if
means
I 100% trust him, I still can go through his
if
phone.
you don't, well, if you're going through their phone, that means you don't trust them. That means you don't. That means
That's-
you believe that they're being unfaithful.
I understand that. Like, you think if you're going through the phone, you think they're hiding something.
Yeah, which automatically means something is wrong in the relationship.
There's no trust in a relationship, and there
Yes.
should be trust in a relationship.
Automatically
It's good, if it's going to be a
means
good
trust is an
relationship, there needs to
issue.
be trust.
I agree.
I've heard this
But
question a few times.
I also don't think it's wrong. Like even with trust, like if you trust each other and
If
you
you
have
trust
nothing
each
to
other,
hide,
then it's no problem.
yeah.
Because that
But,
means you're not.
I mean, yes, I have gone through people's phone because of my lack of trust. I will say that. Oh, Jackson, here's one for you. Military time is better than at PM and AM. I agree.
Only because I started to understand military
It's
time
more
now.
understandable
It's easier.
because like you don't have to do the whole. It's gonna be at 12 o'clock. Well, sometimes I don't remember which one 12 o'clock is in the noon and which
There's-
one's midnight.
There's 12 o'clock and 24-hour time. There's
Yeah.
12 o'clock a.m. or p.m. and there's called like goose eggs
Yeah.
at midnight.
What do you mean goose
It's
eggs?
4 O's, goose eggs. 4 O's.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Didn't know that one. Oh, okay.
That's how it remembers because it goes 4 O's at midnight. And it starts at 0100 hours, then 0200, 300, 400.
Everyone should go to therapy at some point in their lives.
If you don't need it, you shouldn't go. You shouldn't pay for it.
I've never. Have you been to therapy?
I don't need it.
Have you been to therapy?
No, but I seriously need it.
I'm curious to see I'm curious to see what like therapy in someone who I feel like the only therapy I've actually gotten is from like people in church that like your mother.
You shouldn't need therapy if you know you don't need it. Like if you're going to like a
Let's say you-
therapist,
but
I mean, if you do, then go for it.
I just think that I would be interested in trying it, but
So-
I don't know.
Personally, I feel like after years of therapy being looked at as a thing for crazy people, it's true. If you look back at like how Hollywood and how people would interpret therapist and therapy, it was mainly basically pointing fun at mentally unstable people.
Yeah.
And in reality, everybody has issues that they're going through. I have issues. You have issues. We all have issues.
I can't save money.
Well,
I have $20 in my account. I'm with you.
Like Jackson, you remember like those nights where we would ride and I would just start venting a bunch of stuff. Like those are times that I probably would
The
have
night
needed a
rides
therapist.
is usually you start talking about your inner stuff when you're with someone that you like trust, like your ride or die.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that sometimes. So my view on therapy. Have you ever watched Impulsive?
Maybe an episode. Or two.
Okay, well George Janko, like the Christian guy on it, they were talking about it, and he was like, because Logan was saying, he needed therapy because Jesus wasn't doing it for him, and George's point was, why would I go to someone who could be just as flawed as me for advice? And I know that it's good to talk to someone, but I do see that point too. Is like maybe having someone who's a more you can try therapy with like someone who's not like a licensed person, but then maybe having someone who's a bit from a biblical standpoint, like therapy and stuff. I don't know. Personally, I'd like that. Like, yeah, I would try therapy, but I'd also make sure I had someone who's giving me the biblical way to deal with things.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Chicken came first. I'd
There's
agree.
two schools of thought for this.
What are,
There's the biblical way, and then there's the scientific way.
well, what's the biblical way, you think?
That God created all the animals on the earth, which is true.
It's true. So
But there's
chicken
a
came
scientific way, where I guess
first? So the chicken came first.
the college professors would argue that
So technically,
The
in
egg came
both answers, chicken came first.
yes,
Because scientists will go, oh well, the chicken's evolved, and you can't really have an egg evolve. And then Christians will go, well, God created all the creatures, so
Which
that
he did,
means God created the chicken.
That's
So in all answers, chicken first.
chicken first.
Chicken first, guys.
Also made the Hooey Magoo's best chicken tenders.
Ranch belongs on pizza.
No. No.
I disagree.
I thought you agreed.
No, I said it should.
Okay.
It does belong on pizza.
My dad puts ketchup on his pizza.
That is so bizarre.
That is, he said he's been
Ketchup?
doing. He said he's been doing that for like ever.
It's just another form of tomato paste, and there's already tomato stuff.
Yeah,
on it.
there's just ketchup. Why ketchup?
Sorry.
Why ketchup? Dad, what?
What? Ketchup is crazy to me.
He like smothers it too.
Do you think pineapples on pizza is good? Really?
Sweet. I don't really like sweet and salty, so I like if it's gonna be salty, let it be salty. Like pepperoni, mushrooms.
All right. Well, we're gonna take a break because I said so, and I have to use the restroom. So we'll be right back. Eli's gonna pause it now. Pause.
Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We had to take a break.
I had to use the restroom.
Alright, what were we
We're
talking
gonna take a
about?
monster break.
Yes, I chugged a monster while we were gone.
He was like, "We'll drink our monsters on the podcast," and he finished
drank
his
it
before the
before the
podcast
podcast.
started. I will say they are good.
Monsters and Red Bulls are the only energy drinks I will drink.
I think Red Bulls are better than monsters, but that's just me.
Maybe, but I was told that I have a crippling addiction to monsters specifically.
Yeah, I hadn't drank a monster until the last podcast.
Like
so.
when I was working at the beach club, there would be days in the summer where I'd drink like 4 in a day.
There in college, we used to like have swipes, and at like the end of the week, I would spend my swipes on multiple Red Bulls.
Red Bulls.
And stock up on them.
Red Bulls.
And 5:30 workouts. I need
But
them.
I stopped drinking after that one time because I started getting chest pains. But I narrowed it down to one a day. I'm clean.
Book do you think we should do next for the bridge?
Romans.
Romans. Is that what we talked about?
Yeah, that's what.
I'd really like to read Revelation.
It's true.
I've been reading this book on. It's called After the Rapture. I don't know who it's by, but it's really good. And it's kind of scary how much stuff's happening now. That's like,
Oof.
don't you
World
think?
events.
Do you think of that stuff? Like,
What?
I think a lot. Like when bad things happen in the world, like I look at it biblically. I think what's going on? Is that bad?
No, I was looking at the camera. Small thing.
Oh.
But speaking of like world events, have you ever heard of like the stuff that's happening in the Bible? Like the river dried up. Was it, like,
Yeah,
in Jordan or
exactly. That's what I
something?
mean. Like when things happen like that, like I look at the Bible because I think it's cool how much like prophecy, you know.
Like,
I
yeah,
think
they
that
said,
stuff's
like,
cool.
In the Bible, it says a river will dry up, and like, was it like the Jordan River or something? It dried up, and then it said two world powers will collide, and it will be the end of the world. And Hamas and Israel are going at it right now. So
Yeah, this
stuff in the Bible's happening.
it is crazy to think about. Dude, so we asked some huge questions last night, and I was thinking about it. I think we should have some questions. I think we should put on our Instagram, which is the.bridge.sta, guys.
It's that
Go
one right there.
okay. This one right here. You gotta tell me. Go to this one. Hey friends. Okay, so the.bridge.sta is our Instagram. And you go to our link tree, you can find the group me, you can find our podcast, which is now on Spotify and YouTube. The first one's not up yet.
I just posted a pretty sick picture of me on the newest post.
Yeah, I did take that picture.
It's a pretty cool picture.
Ooh,
And my
and-
shirt, my 1825 shirt I was wearing.
The first one's up on Spotify, but not on YouTube yet.
It's on YouTube?
Oh, no.
For what time?
Oh, well, there you go. But what was I talking about? Oh, yes.
Instagram?
So I'm going to post something soon on the Instagram and maybe like a question thing where you can put in questions. I think we should really dive deep into certain questions and for the next podcast and talk about certain questions that we want to answer. And I think we should bring Roy on for the biblical aspect.
For the next episode.
Dude, he is so knowledgeable biblically. Like this dude is, and he can speak. I was talking to him.
He's a good
recently.
speaker. That's probably why he's a teacher.
He gave me a compliment after the last panel last time, and it was the best compliment I've ever heard in my life. He said, "You have the potential to be an amazing speaker," and for me, that's a huge compliment because I hate speaking in front of people.
I do too.
Like
but
here's fine, but in front of like a lot of people, I get so nervous.
the first time I had to do it in middle school, I had to suck it up because I was kind of forced to do it. So
At church?
no, at school,
Oh, at school. At school.
in front of my whole class.
Did you go to private school in elementary?
No.
Oh, I
In
did.
middle school, I went to Sebastian, and it was like everybody, all of 7th grade, I just spoke in front of them. I had to do like a whole presidential speech for my civics class,
Love that. That's
and
fun.
I was like shaking.
Just sitting there. That's fair.
was terrified.
That's how I feel talking in front of people at the
Like
church.
the panel now.
Yeah, but I think it's something you get better at. But anyways, Roy is one of those people who is insanely good at that stuff and just really good biblical knowledge. I think Miss Melanie's the same. She might be a good person to have. I don't know if Eli would let that happen or not.
We've been filming for
I'll
2
allow it.
hours.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. But yeah, I think he'll be a good one to have on the next podcast.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I think that would be insanely fun. Is there anything you want to say before we head on out? Anything?
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are
Don't do
bad. Don't
drugs.
do those, guys. Yeah, Eli, thanks for having a mic this time.
Thank
It's
you
fun
for
getting.
speaking for how little you did, but thank you.
No problem.
No problem. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys coming in and watching this episode or listening on Spotify.
Listen or watch to our first episode that's out right now. So.
Yeah, and give us a follow, and come to the bridge.
Thursday
Come to the
nights.
bridge. And are you laughing at my shameless plug?
Maybe.
All right. Anyways, have a good one. Bye, y'all.
Monster, please sponsor.
Yay, we